All right, what is up, good people of the internet? So it's been quite a while since I've checked in. I think last year I did a handful of kind of garden walks and garden updates. Just working through a divorce this year. I'm still taking care of that old garden through the rest of this year. So I'll do a kind of a wrap up at some point in the next few weeks. Got a whole bunch of stuff that I guess I've planted, and then some stuff I need to replant. Just the garden's been kind of therapeutic for the last, I don't know, for this season. The garden's been a pretty therapeutic place, so I haven't taken the camera into it. I've gotten some pictures, a little bit of video here and there, but I'll make those videos separate. So this video is just kind of a quick snapshot of things that I have going inside over the course of, I guess, the last year. I've kind of started to dabble in houseplants, trying to bring stuff inside. So a quick look at what I currently have and kind of where some of these things kind of stand, like stuff that I'm doing and things that'll be coming. But I guess the first one is this peace lily. I really had no intention of taking this one on. My former father-in-law passed away back in April, and this was a plant that was given as a gift, or sent as a sympathy, a sympathy gift. And it was in a small container inside this white, little white planter, white vessel, whatever you want to call it. It was inside of that, and I kind of got into a rhythm with it where it was doing really, really well. It was throwing a lot of flowers. I had added some worm castings to it, and after that, I mean, the flowering started to go crazy. But it seemed like it was kind of outgrowing the pot that it was in. It was, I was struggling to keep it watered, so I repotted it into this, and since then I had moved out of that house and it was inconsistently getting watered. And the other day I was over picking up some stuff and it was like just completely deflated. So I've kind of figured I want to get this back to health and figure out what's going on. So I don't know if this needs to be repotted. I'm not sure. I might have overwatered it at some point, but with the really inconsistent watering schedule, I mean, it was super droopy, and obviously all the flowers were dried up. But it does seem better today than it did yesterday when I picked it up. So we'll figure this one out. I have a feeling I'm going to kind of repot this. I want to pull it out and kind of trim off maybe some of the dead roots or some of the roots, which my hunch is that's potentially the problem, but we'll let it go for a little bit. The other one is this zebra plant. I got this back in, I want to say March. I got this at Longwood Gardens, March, April, and I left it inside its little tiny, like this size cup that the orchid's in. I left it in that for probably way too long, but I picked up these pots, which are pretty cool. But I picked those up and transplanted it, and it's been doing really well ever since. There is some browning on a couple of the leaves, which it is what it is. It has not flowered for me yet this year, but I'm optimistic that I'm going to keep at it and I will get it to flower. But this one, is there anything else I wanted to say about that one? Yeah, so the Aphelandra Zebra 4 came from Longwood Gardens. We'll just keep kind of, I don't know if I'm going to repot this one or what, but the potting mix that I used was from Build-A-Soil. It was their seedling soil, so it's like a really nice, nice kind of airy peat-based mix that's like ground up. So instead of like large chunks of perlite, it has like really small kind of chunks of perlite. And I also added in some pumice to kind of create a little more, I guess, just airiness in the soil. But I have the pumice on the top as well, just to kind of keep the soil from drying out. This mini rose, I got that as a gift from doing some volunteer work at my son's school, and I had never thought about bringing roses inside, but this mini rose has been doing really well. I've just been every maybe like month or so, I've had that I've had that one since June. I think the first week of June I got that one, and it was flowering at the time. And since then I've done two toppings with worm castings and pretty consistently keeping it watered. And it's thrown flowers 2 additional times. So this is the flower that's on here now is the last of this second round of flowering. And it looks like there are some spots where it might flower some more. But I want to get that repotted here in the next couple weeks. I'm going to put it into a 5-gallon bucket with the grow bucket insert. And I've really enjoyed these for self-watering. These have done really well for me. Got a couple of these and I'd like to redeploy them. I've grown tomatoes in these, I've grown sunflowers in these in the past. The sunflowers are really fun, but they got way too big and so heavy that the buckets were falling over. But we'll repurpose these and put that mini rose in there and see if we can get the watering figured out with these. What else we got here? So the orchid came from Longwood Gardens, and I was confident that I absolutely killed that. We picked that up. That might have been a January, February purchase. You know what? Purchased that at the same time as this one. So that one came home in March, and had flowers on it at the time. I didn't know what I was doing with it, and kind of everything fell off, and I forgot about it. So one of the shoots basically completely died off, but I sprinkled a little bit of worm castings in it, and then had consistently just made sure that I had dropped some ice cubes on top of it to keep it watered. And within the last 6 weeks, the flower sites, like it was pretty clear that it was developing new flower sites, and then it has started to flower again, which is really cool. I have no orchid experience. Everything I've gotten in the past, I've gotten a couple orchids as gifts, and they have not lasted. So there's the orchid, and then we have the Swiss cheese plant, which came from Etsy, and that's another project. That one arrived and it was like all yellowed out. It was really in bad shape, and then just keeping the soil moist, some worm castings on top of it, and just kind of playing around with some of the lighting conditions, trying to get it in a spot that's really good. In the prior house, it was in a spot that it seemed to be doing really well, and it's grown a ton. The next project for that is going to be putting it on a moss pole to stake it up, because I would like to see it, go vertical, because it's got a good bit of growth, and the roots that are starting to come off need somewhere to go. And then I have 2 carnivore plants. One is just a Venus flytrap, and the other is a octopus plant. The octopus, both those are from Longwood Gardens. My 6-year-old son picked those out. He loves those. We haven't had a whole lot of luck with the Venus flytraps. I think that's the 2nd or 3rd one we've gotten. It's gotten really dried out. I had made the mistake of using some compost tea to bottom water it in, so I set the cup. Usually I water everything by putting it in a bowl with some water in it. But with that one, I had some compost tea, the recharge, that I set that in, and ever since then it's continuing to grow, but the growth kind of turns black very quickly. So I'm going to keep at it. We're going to see what that one is. I think I just over fertilized it, and that's a problem, but if that comes back, I will repot it. And then the carnivore plant, or the octopus plant, just came home with us this past week, so that has some instructions on it. It also came in packaging where it has the plastic kind of shield around it, so I opened that up, trying to keep some of the humidity in there. I also, for the Venus flytrap, I took a solo cup, cut the top off, tried to keep the humidity up a little bit in there, but also give some room for the flies or bugs to go in there. And then also the most recent addition, which came home last week, was the Anthurium rainbow. I think I'm saying that right, probably saying it wrong, which is this guy right here. And that one just kind of jumped out. There was a member appreciation day at Longwood, so I using the 20% discount, I wanted to come home with something new, and that one kind of jumped out at me as something where the leaves are really interesting. I like the flower. It kind of has a flower similar to the peace lily, but that pinkish color that's on it is really pretty. But we'll figure that one out. I'm going to leave it in the current pot for a while, and we'll kind of see where that goes. But that's what's going on with my indoor garden for now. I will kind of keep track of these plants individually. as we kind of go through the process. I've also got my 2 green stalk towers, which I had grown in previously with moderate success. Those I struggled to figure out the watering, but now that I'm in a smaller place and I can put those out on the deck, they'll be a little bit closer, but that'll probably be a project for the winter time. I'll build some soil, let the soil cook, we'll get those filled in, and then we will grow some stuff from seed inside the house. I'll probably do a bunch of stuff inside these cocoa cups, and then we'll transplant the cocoa cups into the green stock. But that's like a 4 to 6 months kind of down the road when that's finally done. But there will be the soil, creating the soil, and doing the seedlings, figuring out what's going to go in there. Probably some tomatoes in one, because my son loves tomatoes. We just haven't found a variety that we grow that he likes as much as what we get in the store. But that's what's going on with the garden here. I'll keep you up to date. Hope everyone's well, and there will be some more videos coming for the projects that are going on in the house. So take care, everyone. Peace.